What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. And I want to start off by talking about Keith Lee. And I am going to reserve judgment until all the facts come out, because it's easy to jump on WWE about a lot of things, and they rightfully so deserve that. And rightfully so, they deserve to, get jumped on about a lot of this shit. But there's just something, I was just like, it was kind of weird to me about this, because Keith Lee came out the other day when it happens to be his birthday. And he put out something on Twitter, and he was like, "Greetings and salutations. This day is my birthday. It is not a happy birthday, but it is one I am most grateful for. Several months ago, it was not a guarantee I would make it to this day. So there is positivity in that. I pay all my medical bills from the many offices and machines I frequent. There is positivity in that. And I do find it amusing that people believe anyone but me paid for my medical expenses. I was going to wait a couple weeks, but I think it's time to look towards the future. Forward march, as I like to say. I am capable of so much more, and I can't wait to see what it looks like properly. I have a wide array of interests and abilities. I also consider myself to be rather open-minded. Here's to a future that, for all intents and purpose, seems limitless." So, you may look at it like, okay, regular tweet and everything, right? But then, something that's shocking, WWE came out and they released a statement about Keith Lee's tweet. And they came out and said, Keith Lee's recent comments implying WWE failed to pay his medical bills are horrendous. WWE has an extensive healthcare program for the medical care of its in-ring performers, and Mr. Lee was part of this program while with the company. Should Mr. Lee have any concerns over the payment of medical bills, he is welcome to address them with the WWE. Now, before we, let's handle this professionally now. WWE is a slimy ass company, and they do a lot of people, almost everybody, dirty in that company, depending on who you are. And sometimes you have seen the most disgusting, disturbing things to people done on live TV and being fired. And me and Prime, as wrestling fans, is long enough, can attest to this. But there is something WWE does do. WWE has been known that if somebody gets injured or sick on their watch, hear me out first, on their watch, they do take care of them expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I
was just saying,
even if the person is on drugs or needs rehab, they got a whole shit list of people, like from Ric Flair to William Regal to Jeff Hardy to Matt Hardy to everybody they had paid for when it came to substance abuse and things like that, and they have done that. So I can't, unfortunately, say anything bad about WWE when that comes. Now, once again, COVID is another different animal, because it's hard to prove that you can say that Keith Lee could have got COVID outside the workplace. You could have said Keith Lee got COVID in the workplace. It's just that, of course, of how WWE was handling the COVID situation earlier in the business, they weren't handling it as well as Tony Khan at AEW or like Sinclair was over at Ring of Honor. They just was not handling it the right way. So a lot of people did get sick, and had to stay home. But you still can't prove that. It's really hard to prove that he got sick at WWE. So I don't know how the COVID thing, lands. And here's the thing about Keith Lee. I agree with him. Because I agree with him of being frustrated and feeling this way. But I also think it's also a thing because Keith Lee does this also, that he keeps hinting that he wants to say something, but he don't say it. And I'm like, I think it's about time that you just get it off your chest. He may not be allowed to say it because he's under 90-day no compete clause, but I truly think Keith Lee is somebody who's legit hurt for losing their job at WWE. We may not look at it that way. We may like, yo, is WWE, get the fuck out of it. They did not care about you. But I'm not Keith Lee. But going by the way he's been talking, or he's hinting at this, or I gotta give you guys a story or my side story, like I really felt as though that he felt he could have been a bigger star in WWE. I'm not necessarily so sure about this. So, what is your take on this Prime about the whole medical thing, and do you think that it's more of a Keith Lee being frustrated type of thing? Because they should come back out and Keith Lee could have said, well, I was not implying that WWE never paid my medical bills. I was only saying, like, there's so much shit people can say out of anger. Even CM Punk said some shit out of anger to the point where he was just like, all right, well, that was just me being angry. WWE did do something like this. Because, look, WWE is easy to shit on. They are the punching bag. And like I said, they deserve all this criticism. But you have to call a spade a spade. And with WWE, one thing that you can't really come at them on is when stuff happens on their watch, they do take care of their superstars. So how do you feel about this?
This feels like just a situation where Keith Lee was like, look, I can pay for this myself. That's what it feels like. Like, no, I got this one, guys. Just to me. I don't know. It could be different, obviously, or whatever, but this feels like Keith Lee wanted to be like, all right, I got this by myself.
Do you think it was more of a thing like, I got this so that when he knew this shit was going to happen, he kind of throw it in their face?
No, I just think Keith Lee just like, no, I got this is maybe him being modest in a sense.
Uh-huh. I mean, but
I don't know.
I'm
just saying.
The way I look at it is, if I get sick, and say if I feel as though that I got sick on your watch, if they're offering to pay for it, I'm not going to, especially with me not being booked or used on TV the right way or whatever the case may be, and I could be out of a job, I'm going to let them pay for it.
Yeah, we never know. Keith Lee could be modest. He could be like, hey, I almost died. You know what? I want to get this one.
Shit, if I almost died, you make sure you take care of all that. But it's not even just about being a mindset. I'm like, can it be a thing where he's just mad at them right now and called them out on something to the point where, because look, any wrestler that has been released before by WWE and the shit they come out there and talk, they ain't never come out with a statement challenging what these people say. They like, go ahead, say what the fuck you want to say. We don't give a fuck anyway. And people come.
It's just, the weird part is, out of all the stuff you can say to, like, quote unquote bury WWE, you don't really go with they didn't pay my medical bills. Out of all the stuff you can say, that's the thing that he went with, that he would go with to be frustrated with. I don't know.
I mean, I agree with you. Like I said, they're a slimy company, which too deserves all the criticism. But if it seems like for them to make a statement about that, they obviously feel some type of way about that to the point where, hold on now, we do a lot of shit, but those things were taken care of by us. Like I said, because it's already bad. Keith Lee was having the reputation of saying being hard to work with, and I'm just like, I think, Keith Lee was trying. When it comes to that hard to work with stuff, it's like, okay, what do you want? It's like Vince wants you to keep pounding him with ideas, but then once again, Vince wants his ideas on you, and if you don't like the creative or you call out the creative, then you're looked at as a problem. Because we've seen that being with Bray Wyatt, which I can't wait for his shoot interview to come out and let everybody know his side of the story. And I'm pretty sure, like, you know, the Bearcat stuff was not Keith Lee's idea, but it's like Keith Lee wants to come out and like just let it all out, but he keeps giving these little cryptic tweets and stuff like that, and just to get people riled up and talking instead of actually coming out and talking. Well, honestly, Keith Lee could do in 90 days in February, when all this shit is behind you, you can come back out and you can just sit here and say, look, this is what the fuck happened. This is what pisses me off about this. This is who I think did this, whatever the case may be, and you can go ahead and say your piece. Because leading up to it with all this other stuff that you're talking about, and if it comes out to saying that, you know, Keith Lee wasn't telling the truth about it, that's going to backfire on him, and that's not what he wants right now.
Which is weird. Like, why would you want? It's just, for one, it's a random thing to just randomly just bring up, but even at that, it's just like that's the thing though. Like even if it is a lie, weird, though. That's the thing that you lie about, you know.
Exactly. I would say, but it came out of weird because he just said in the tweet, I pay for all my medical expenses, and then I don't see why it's so hard for me to believe that I'm the only one to pay for this. I'm like, where'd that come from? You know, obviously something bothered is bothering him. So,
well, obviously this man got fired, so duh.
I mean, yeah, but you know, because like I said, I for some reason I really think Keith Lee felt as though that he was going to be a star there. I think he was probably promised something that he was not given. He was probably he probably felt as though that he was attacked for some reason, or he probably felt as though that you know, whatever the case may be. I really think that one time Keith Lee tried to dive over the top rope and he didn't get enough air, and he smacked his head on the back of that apron. He's been on Vince shit list ever since. On the episode of Raw, because ever since then he was not pushed the same at all.
Well, no, maybe, I don't know. That was a specific detail. Like, okay.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just doing the eye test here. I'm just doing the eye test. Like, I hope to know the full Keith Lee story, because then you got the trolls going to attack him. Whatever the case, the media is going to get involved and all stuff like that. I'm just like, but bro, you can't lead this fan base on, because he got diehard fans that no matter what he say, they're going to attack WWE no matter what. He has those fans. He has those fans there, but you know, he knows that. And whatever will make him feel better by, I guess, hurting the company. Like, when people are usually hurt and they're really hurt about something, the best way they feel so they can get back is to try to make the other party that has hurt them feel equally as hurt. And you may say some shit that'll bring some bad heat on the company, but once again, this is not going to look good.
Yeah, this is a very rare situation. You obviously just got to wait until more info comes out to see like what's what.
Yeah, so his 90 day is up in February. So hopefully we can hear something about that. I'm still waiting to hear from Bray Wyatt, to hear Bray Wyatt is going to say anything, because I'm curious to hear what his story is going to be.
He'll probably do it after he done filming his movie or whatever he doing.
First of all, I hope the movie's actually going to be kind of dope, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hope it is too. This man Bray Wyatt is doing his thing. This man bought a pony a while back, so yeah, he's doing his thing.
Hey,